Welcome to Mortgages and More, your go-to podcast for the latest insights in the mortgage industry. Join us as we dive into expert advice, unveil actionable tips, and learn how to empower the next generation of homebuyers. Get ready to elevate your knowledge and make those property dreams a reality. Let's get started. We are back with another episode, 30 and 30 here in January. And Brian, before we hit record, you just said that our guest has submitted a chapter that is unlike anyone else in this book.
Confirmed. And I read it.
That feels very strong.
Yeah, it's awesome. So happy to have you, Vic, join us here. When we started to put together this book and this idea, the whole concept was built around helping all loan officers rethink what it means to serve the next generation home buyer and consumer. And a lot of what we've talked about with folks on this little podcast and what we see in the book is really more around biz dev and sales and marketing and personal branding. And we didn't really have anybody focused on a specific topic like capital markets, secondary marketing. And you and I, Vic, had a conversation. I think we were doing one of these little, short videos for your Vic's Vantage podcast. Yeah. And it got me to thinking, there's something here that we should be sharing in this book for loan officers to be thinking about and how to leverage this knowledge of all things secondary and capital markets, and then put a spin on it for themselves to help them, supplement or build on their personal branding. So like Kyle said, we appreciate and thank you for saying yes to this project and for spending some time with us today.
Well, I super appreciate it. And, thank you guys for inviting me along on the journey. I really, really appreciate that. And I was talking to one of my friends the other day, and I'm like, I don't even know how I get involved in this kind of stuff, but I just keep saying yes. So it just keeps happening.
Yeah. It's saying yes is powerful, even though there's times when you actually have to say no. And that could be empowering, but we're, like I said, thankful you said yes. So let's dive in here. I kind of teased it out. Your chapter is taking a different course for us, which is awesome. Without giving away all the secrets in the book itself, can you just share with the audience some tidbits on what you covered?
So as Brian, and Kyle, you're getting to know, I spent the vast majority of my career in the capital markets realm. And so I have a very unique position or idea of the industry because of how I grew up in the industry. I didn't grow up in sales. I didn't grow up in ops. And I kind of consider capital markets its own thing because it's not really ops. And so I, over time, noticed that the best producers, and top producers as well, but the best producers always had a good handle on what was happening in the market. And we kind of like in mortgage land, we like to call it capital markets or secondary market, but it's really understanding what's going on with the broader economy and how that affects our industry. And that's kind of what my chapter is about, is making sure that you're one of those loan officers that can provide value in an additional way by being, I don't even want to say a market expert. You don't need to be a market expert, but you need to be somebody who understands the external forces that affect our industry in a way that you can relate to a borrower in making the best financial decisions that they can. So that's a lot about what this book was about, is that next generation loan officer and truly being an advisor. And you can't be that if you don't understand what's actually happening in the economy and the broader market. And that's what I really focused on.
Woo. So, Kyle, are you there? You froze on us a little bit.
No, he's there. You're there.
Yeah.
I was gonna say and ask, I often wonder if a lot of LOs struggle to get more visible on social if some of it doesn't have to do with they don't know what you know.
Yep.
And they have this deep fear of like being found out as a fraud because they only know product.
Yep. Well, here's the thing. We all feel that way at one point. When I
Yeah.
first started off in capital markets, I felt that way. And there is not to give too much away in the book, but I talk about even after being in capital markets for a long time, when I really started having conversations, one-on-one conversations with loan officers, feeling like I was a fraud all over again because I knew my stuff from a capital markets perspective, but I had not been put in a position to where I had to articulate what I knew in a way that they could understand. And so it's okay. It's okay to feel that way. Now, one of the things that I wish I actually would have had a little bit more time to put into the book, and I didn't, was you don't have to learn it all at once. Nobody sits down one day with a bunch of textbooks and goes through and says, okay, I'm going to learn everything that's going on in the market, all the key economic indicators, all of this, all of that. My recommendation would be just start taking little bite sizes every day, even if it's 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day, and you start to build on that. And I'll like in my own personal experience, when I first came into the capital markets realm, I started off at a hedge advisory firm, and they represented about 40 different companies at the time. And we would get this commentary every single day from broker dealers, and I had no clue what it said. It's like 10% I understood, and the rest of it I didn't. And so at that time, I felt like I should have known it, even though I really didn't need to know it, but I felt like I should have. So I Googled everything, Investopedia'd everything. Loan officers actually have an advantage over me because it's not their job to know the nitty gritty. So they can go to other resources and create those networks of people to be able to help them and verify, okay, I heard this over here. Does that make sense to you? Or, I keep hearing this one thing. I don't really know what it means. And for a lot of folks, they have a head of capital markets, or they know another originator in the industry that has a broader and better perspective that they can chat with. But again, you don't have to sit down and learn it all in one day. It's a constant education, and just take it in little bite-sized pieces.
So good. Brian, did you notice she didn't even need us
I know.
to transition her into the second question?
Yeah, she's the best that way.
I don't even know what we're doing here. We should have just let Victoria have
You know what
this
you guys are
entire
doing
thing to
here?
herself.
You guys are the masterminds that brought together how many people now to create this wonderful book?
35, I think. Yeah.
35 people.
Crazy.
That is
Oh,
incredible.
Brian. I'm
No.
along for the ride.
It's been crazy. And we've had, Kyle and I are in this luxury suite, if you will. We get to see these chapters as they're kind of getting put together and coming together. And I'm super excited for folks to get exposure to, 35 additional resources that are literally going to be available every day in this book and beyond, frankly.
Well, and I think that that's really powerful, just because they're authors, like we're all normal people. We all have regular jobs. We're all on LinkedIn, and this is an opportunity for everybody that reads that book to broaden their network with other people that, maybe they only like 5 of the chapters, which, I'm sure they'll like all of them, but maybe they only like 5
I'll
of the
take
chapters.
5.
Yeah,
right, exactly. But they can reach out to those people and create an even deeper relationship with those people. And I think a big reason why a lot of us did this is because we want to give back. We love the networking. We want to help people. And you guys did that. You brought it together.
Well, we're honored to have you in it. And I have a sneaky suspicion that we'll hear little birdies chirping about that capital market chapter, I never thought about it like that. So, Victoria, we can't thank you enough. Thanks for being a part of this. Guys, thanks for watching and or listening. Brian, we'll be back tomorrow.
Yes, we will. Thanks,
See
Vic.
you guys.
Thanks, guys.